Dear friends, the topic of today's video is the productivity. Whenever we are talking about the manufacturing process or manufacturing of the goods, then we always talk about the productivity. That what is the productivity of any factor of the production. So productivity, it is a measure of the effective use of the resources, like how effectively we are using the different resources of the production. Like we are using the different factors of the production, land, labor, capital, machine, etc. So how effectively we are using those different factors of the production. That productivity is usually expressed as the ratio of the output to the input, like how much output we are getting with the help of the different types of the resources which we are using. Okay, so the output and the input we consider in the case of the productivity. So productivity, whatever we are calculating, we are using that productivity for the purpose of making the planning regarding the workforce. Like productivity, one of the factor of the production is also the labor, and how many laborers are required into the production, that is also done on the basis of the productivity of the laborers. So productivity calculation helps us in the case of planning the workforce requirements. Then scheduling of the equipments also, like if your equipments, they are giving you the highest level of the productivity, that means you need less of the equipments, or you have to run the different equipments at the different time period, so you can make the schedule of the running of those equipments according to the productivity of the equipment. Then is a financial analysis, how much money you have invested and what return you are getting with respect to that investment. That is also the part of the productivity. Okay, then productivity can be measured as the output by the input. The formula for the calculation of the productivity is the outputs divided by the inputs. Productivity can be calculated with the help of the input and output with the different methods. Like first one is the partial measures. Partial measures can be the output divided by the single input, like how much output you are getting with a single output. Single output can be input, can be your sorry input can be your labor, it can be your machine, it can be your capital also. Like with the 5 laborers we are able to get 400 units of a product. So that means we will be able to calculate the productivity. 400 units are produced with the help of 4 laborers, so that means the productivity of each laborer is 100 units. Then multi-factor measures are the output divided by the multiple inputs. We can use multiple of the inputs also, like labor plus capital we can use, labor plus land we can use, labor plus machinery we can use. So how much um output we are getting with the help of the different kinds of the inputs or the multiple inputs, that is known as your multi-factor measure. Total measures are like output divided by the total inputs. How much total inputs we have used, or how many total inputs we have used to produce any given output. So that is known as your total measures. We can also calculate the productivity growth, like how much was the productivity in the previous time period and how much is the productivity in the current time period. The difference of that we can use to calculate the productivity growth. So the formula for the calculation of the productivity growth can be current period productivity minus the previous period productivity divided by the previous period productivity. Now, as I told you, the measures of the productivity is partial measure can be your output by labor, output by machine, output by capital, output by energy. So, single factor of the production or the single input we are taking into the account. Then is a multi-factor measures. Multi-factor measures, we are not using a single factor of the production or a single input. We are using multiple factors of the production or the inputs. Like you can see output divided by labor plus machine, output divided by labor plus capital plus energy, and the total measures are goods and the services produced. Either it can be good or it can be the services. So goods or the services produced by all the inputs used to produce them. So there can be different multiple number of or the different number of the factors of the production or the different inputs for the uh, production of any product or the service. When we are taking into account all those, then we are taking into consideration the total measures of the productivity. Thank you.